age, I want two girls at once, you know. Yeah, if I fall asleep, they got each other to talk to. What's new with you?
These are 10 appearances of Rodney Dangerfield on Johnny Carson's stage, where he left him completely helpless with laughter every single time. Number 10, July 1st, 1971.
Even my friends tell me when I call them on the phone, I use a certain signal. Let it ring twice, hang up, and don't call back.
Rodney Dangerfield had earned this moment through years of grinding that most people never saw. Born Jacob Cohen on Long Island in 1921, he'd spent decades performing, quitting, coming back, and performing again.
Like I saw a woman last week at the supermarket. She opened a container of sour cream, you know, and she opened it up, looked at it, put it back again. I said, how come you didn't take it? It was all right. She told me it was opened already.
And by 1969, he'd opened his own comedy club in New York City and begun building toward what would become one of the most recognizable acts in American television history.
New York is a summer festival.
Yes, it is.
New York in the summer, romance is in the air.
Yeah.
Girls looking for husbands, husbands looking for girls. You know.
July 1st, 1971, episode 2250 is where the national audience starts to understand who they're dealing with. What Dangerfield does in this appearance isn't flashy by his later standards, but the architecture is already there.
What camera are we on?
What do you do? You work all summer now in the club?
Oh, yeah, that's
You don't never close, huh?
Oh, no, we go open all year, 54 weeks a year.
54 weeks a year.
He walks out with that specific nervous energy that belonged only to him, tugging at the tie that seemed to tighten with every punchline, and launches directly into material about his family doctor that tells you everything you need to know about his worldview in about 45 seconds.
Oh, I got a tough family doctor. He's tough, you know. And he told me if I keep smoking, I'll take 10 years off my life. If I keep drinking, another 10 years off my life. If I don't pay him his bill, I'll be by tomorrow. I don't know, I tell you, I don't respect my family doctor or anyone else, you know.
Carson starts folding almost immediately. The Father's Day material hits the studio hard, and the reason it lands the way it does is that Dangerfield isn't performing outrage. He's performing resigned acceptance, which turns out to be far funnier.
Like last week, Father's Day. I gave my wife money for her and the kids to buy me presents. And for $20, I got back a handkerchief and 2 pairs of socks.
The joke involves handing his wife money to buy his own gifts, and what she brings back barely qualifies as a gesture. Carson is laughing. The audience is laughing.
You know it, man. Very big man. Dr. Vinny Boombots. He was in there last week.
Dr. Vinny Boombots.
Boombots, yeah.
And that's when you start to see the structure beneath the surface. Every bit in this set points the same direction. No respect from his wife, no respect from strangers, no respect from the institution of the nightclub he runs himself.
He wrote that best-selling book, you know, How to Sleep Alone and Enjoy It. It was a very short book, you know.
It's called Lonely, Dr. Vinny Boombots, isn't it?
Where customers laugh at wrong moments and ask him for directions mid-performance. The man cannot win in any environment, and the sheer consistency of the universe working against him is the whole joke.
People are strange when they come to nightclubs, you know. They laugh at the wrong time, you know. The waiter drops a tray, they laugh. They don't know the directions, they laugh. They say, how do I get to Main Street? I really can't tell you, I don't know.
This is where the 70-plus appearance run begins, and Carson's audience is already hooked. Number 9, September 12th, 1972. 1 year on, and something has shifted.
In fact, I looked at one class, they asked one kid to prove the law of gravity. You know, he threw the teacher out the window.
Episode 2554 brings a Dangerfield who carries the material with noticeably more authority, who knows exactly how long to hold before the next line, and who has started to understand the particular chemistry he and Carson generate together.
My kid don't go to a school like you have. He goes to the toughest school in New York.
Oh, how tough is it?
My kid's school is so tough. It's the only public school I know the school newspaper has an obituary column.
The stand-up fires on schedule, but what distinguishes this 1972 visit is how conversational the desk portion becomes. Dangerfield opens up about his professional life in real terms, and what he describes is a picture of a comedian on the rise.
I got the only doctor gives away stamps, you know. Gift stamps. And so last week I didn't feel good. He told me if I get sick 2 more times, I get roller skates.
The Dean Martin Show had been booking him with enough regularity that the production team actually constructed a replica of his New York comedy club on the set, a full nightclub stage built specifically so Dangerfield could deliver material in an environment that matched who he was on stage.
Well, I have a crazy doctor, I told you. He told me to keep smoking if I want to stop chewing gum, so...
He talks about the comedians in his orbit during this period, names like Henry Youngman, Robert Klein, David Brenner, and Steve Landesberg, and describes his tendency to gravitate toward what he calls the crazies.
Not too many tattoos out here, you know?
You don't see many
I don't see many guys with tattoos. Don't tell you. You know me, I love tattoos.
Oh, yeah.
I love these guys with tattoos over here, mother over here, give it to your neighbor. You know, it's I love the tattoos.
There's something genuinely warm in the way he talks about his people, which lands differently when you consider that his entire act is built around a man the world refuses to acknowledge warmly.
I'm staying in David's apartment, as a matter of fact.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, David, it's weird staying in a comedian's apartment. A lot of pieces of paper all over the apartment. Every piece of paper has a joke on it. That was a joke.
Carson closes this one out with easy back and forth, and Dangerfield confirms he'll be back. Of course he will. This is a standing invitation now, and both of them know it. Number 8, November 21st, 1973.
My wife, she don't help either, you know? Every time I take a few drinks, she hides the bottle. But I'll tell you, when I drink the next day, I gotta do 2 things. I gotta try and locate my car, and I gotta bring back the car I took.
By late 1973, Dangerfield has settled into a groove that very few comedians ever find on a talk show stage. Episode 2865 puts him alongside Tina Louise and Gore Vidal on the same bill, which is quite a lineup for any evening of television.
I'll tell you what, my wife, I can't do nothing. You know, I can't drink, I can't eat. She's always put me on diets. Oh, last week she put me on a new one, a grapefruit diet. For 7 days, I had 10 grapefruits a day. And ended up, I lost 4 pounds, I got a citrus rash.
And Dangerfield walks out and does exactly what he always does, completely unbothered by the company. The material in this appearance cuts toward his origins in a way that feels more personal than his earlier Tonight Show visits.
Oh, every night business was terrible at those places.
yeah.
One night business was so bad, I was arrested for loitering with a microphone.
He talks about the kinds of rooms he worked early in his career, venues that communicated their character through their names alone. One of them he refers to as Funzo's Knuckle Room.
A place like Funzo's Knuckle Room. Ooh.
Funzo's Knuckle Room?
What, Funzo was tough. Oh, was he tough. Every night he told me the same thing. Be funny. My people come here to forget their troubles. I mean, how do you make a guy forget he's up for It's rough, you know?
And that detail alone reaches Carson before the punchline even arrives, which is exactly how Dangerfield constructs these things. The specificity does the work, and the audience goes with it completely.
I worked places years ago and I worked hard, places you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
I worked one place so far out in the woods, my act was reviewed in Field and Stream.
He also moves through material about getting older and what it forces a person to pay attention to, and even there, even on a topic that most comedians play as straightforward complaint, Dangerfield wraps it in indignity.
And I'm at the age now, my little black book, all the phone numbers are doctors. You gotta take care of your health, and
Health.
that's what's important.
The doctor jokes are already becoming a recurring element across his appearances, and he's building a cast of characters, his wife, his physician, his childhood, that he'll return to the way any great writer returns to the same terrain from different angles.
Now, my friend, the doctor.
What doctor is this?
What doctor is that? You don't know what doctor that is. Dr. Vinnie Boom Bots.
Vinnie Boom Bots.
What you notice across this 1973 performance is that the audience isn't just reacting to individual jokes. They're reacting to a man they've started to trust. They can see where a bit is heading, and that's when something interesting happens. They go anyway.
He just wrote a book all about togetherness.
Oh, really?
It's a wonderful, wonderful book going over very, very
What's
big.
it called?
It's all about, the book's entitled, I'd rather have a girl who's gone 6 months than a girl who's 6 months gone. And it's really
Carson is with them every step. Number 7. September 2nd, 1974. Doris Day shares the bill on episode 2996, which makes this one of the more unusual lineups in this run of appearances.
Even in the park, I had no friends.
Really?
I remember the seesaw. I had to keep running from one end to the other.
Dangerfield and Doris Day occupy entirely separate corners of American entertainment, and the contrast only sharpens what Dangerfield is doing when he steps out. The 1974 set finds him pushing familiar material into new territory.
Broke up my psychiatrist too last week. For the first time, I told him I got tendencies. He told me from now on I have to pay in advance.
Teenagers come up early, and the way he frames the experience of dealing with them connects immediately with the portion of the audience that knows exactly what he's describing.
I was talking to someone here. I said, look at that teenager. What's that, a boy or a girl? He said, that's a boy. That's my son. I said, sure, you knew you're his father. He said, I'm not his father. I'm his mother.
Banks and dentists follow, institutions that exist in Dangerfield's universe purely to remind him of his place, and the resigned logic of his complaints builds a picture of a man who has simply come to expect this from the world's systems.
Not a beauty, my dentist. Yeah, I said to him, can you put in a new tooth to match my other teeth? He put in a tooth with 4 cavities.
Then comes the beach material, the bit about being a child, lost, asking a police officer for directions, and the officer's response. The documented record of this appearance notes that Carson doubled over at the punchline.
I tell you, when I was a kid, I got no respect. No respect at all, you know? The time I was lost on a beach, and a cop had me look for my parents. I said to the cop, I think we'll find them. He said, I don't know, kid, there's so many places I could hide.
And that tracks with what Dangerfield does in this stretch of the set. The joke is built like a small machine, every component positioned to make the conclusion feel both inevitable and impossible to see coming.
What's really annoying with my wife, the way she serves a meal.
Serves badly?
Terrible.
No.
I mean, you put down a steak. How do you forget the plate?
He closes with material about the contents of his refrigerator, which sounds mundane until you consider that in Dangerfield's hands, even the inside of a refrigerator becomes a site of failure and indignity.
My refrigerator's always full. There's nothing to eat. You got things in our refrigerator like a half a bottle of flat soda, cup with a broken egg in it. This broken egg has been laying there for 4 months, just waiting for someone to scramble. We have 1 bottle of ketchup that we use. Then we have another bottle of ketchup that's almost empty. It's been there now for a year and a half.
Carson goes, the audience goes, and the September 1974 appearance earns its place on this list on the strength of one of the more precisely engineered sets Dangerfield ever delivered on that stage.
My friend the doctor, Dr. Vinny Boombach.
Ah, yeah, how is
told
he?
me, the important thing is never take your work home with you. There's a guy, my neighbor, the traffic cop, it takes his work home with him. It's ridiculous. Makes love to his wife, he tells her to pull over.
Yeah, isn't that bad?
Number 6, July 6, 1976. Episode 3455, and the audience reaction when Dangerfield walks out tells you everything about where things stand by the summer of 1976. This isn't curiosity anymore. The cheer that greets him is the cheer for someone they've been waiting for all week.
You know, looks don't mean nothing, really. I mean, I got a niece, an ugly girl. She got married, she's happy. She married an ugly guy. And today they got 2 very ugly kids.
2 distinct things happen in the July 1976 appearance, and both of them are worth your attention. The stand-up portion runs through his home life, his wife's approach to cooking, and the particular hazards of his neighborhood.
But the other day I passed a hitchhiker. I'll tell you, from the finger this guy gave me, he wanted to go to the moon.
All delivered in the rapid-fire style that had become his calling card. But the sit-down with Carson this evening runs longer than usual, and it gets more personal than most.
Will you do 2 shows a night there?
2 shows a night, every night except Monday.
I see.
And Monday I'll try to create my own show. No, I don't know, I'm just talking around.
His upcoming summer residency at the Tropicana Hotel in Las Vegas comes up, as does the status of his comedy club back in New York, and hearing Dangerfield talk shop with Carson is a specific kind of television moment.
I like the slot machine. You can't help it. They got slot machines all over in Vegas.
Yeah.
You can't even the supermarkets. When you buy a container of milk, cost me $238.
2 professionals from completely different corners of the business finding common ground in a conversation about what the work actually looks like from the inside. He shares a story about pursuing a woman named Polly that follows the exact arc you'd predict from Rodney Dangerfield's romantic life.
Her name was Polly.
Polly.
I offered her 50 crackers, you know, by the way. She's a lovely girl,
Pretty
a lovely
girl, huh?
I found out in the last 2 years she only had 1 affair with the Los Angeles Rams. A real lovely girl.
And then pivots to Dr. Vinny Bombat, a fictional physician who appears across multiple appearances, dispensing advice that is medically questionable and philosophically troubling all at once.
Good, I'm swimming a lot lately.
You do your own straight lines, too. What do you need me for? You work out a lot, huh?
Yeah, swimming is very good, swimming.
Carson loves this character. The audience loves this character. And Dangerfield rounds the evening out by reflecting on the early rooms he worked, the tough ones, the kind of stages that built a performer either into something or into nothing.
My wife tells me I got no willpower. Yeah, she lost 10 pounds, she has willpower. To me, that's not willpower, 10 pounds. To me, with weight willpower, it's like a guy going to an electric chair. They give him his last meal, and he stays on Weight Watchers.
I mean, that's the...
Dangerfield clearly built into something. He just won't say so. Number 5. August 30th, 1977, episode 3754, and Dangerfield mentions at the close of this visit that he's heading directly from the NBC studio to the airport for another show that same night. Booked solid.
I was a kid, I got no respect at all, you know? They always made me take the family picture, and that way I wouldn't be in it.
The man who built an entire act around never getting anywhere has become the man every room in the country wants. Las Vegas dominates the early stretch of the 1977 set, specifically the Tropicana and the Circus. And what Dangerfield describes about his experiences in those environments is pure, concentrated character.
I mean, help me forget Las Vegas, I'm going broke over there. I mean, Vegas, you gotta go broke. They got slot machines all over, even in supermarkets. I bought a dozen eggs, cost me $442.
The universe, as he tells it, is aligned against him in casinos the way it's aligned against him everywhere else. And he documents this with the calm resignation of someone who has simply stopped being surprised.
I tell you, I'm never lucky at gambling, you know? I was in a game show. I won a 20-day cruise in the Bermuda Triangle.
And that's when the doctor material arrives. And this particular visit features some of the most precisely constructed medical humor in his Tonight Show catalog. One bit begins with a piece of advice involving running.
And my doctor, he don't help either. He told me to run 5 miles a day for 2 weeks. I called him up. I said, Doc, I'm 70 miles from my house.
Builds through the internal logic of Dangerfield's particular situation and lands at a conclusion so perfectly absurd that Carson simply cannot recover. The audience is gone before Carson is.
In fact, last week I had an offer to work another hotel in Las Vegas.
Another one?
Yeah, Circus.
Oh.
It was a bad deal, though. I got to bring my own net, you know.
Which is notable. Usually the crowd follows Carson's lead. Here, the crowd goes first and Carson follows. And the chain reaction runs all the way to the back of the studio.
Life's not easy.
Not easy. You can't trust
easy.
doctors either. They're all mixed up. You
really
kidding?
think so, huh?
My proctologist used to be a photographer.
Yeah.
A second bit involves a specialist whose previous professional background left him approaching his current work in an unusual manner. And again, the way Dangerfield constructs it, the specific detail positioned exactly right,
Hey, he took x-rays, told me to bend over and say cheese.
makes the whole thing feel both inevitable and impossible. He closes with childhood material, with the feeling of being the child nobody particularly rushed to claim. And none of it is mean-spirited. There's a gentleness underneath the indignity that makes it funnier than complaint ever could be.
My old man, he didn't help either, kept taking me to the zoo. He said he was hoping my real parents would claim me.
Carson and Dangerfield close in warm conversation, and then Dangerfield is gone, straight to the airport, straight to the next crowd. Number 4. January 31st, 1978.
Is it warm in here?
What's me? You know, the pressure. So,
Commercial give you a chance to cool off a little bit?
whatever you like. It's okay. I mean, it's not my ball game, you know.
That's right.
Henry Winkler shares episode 3863, which means this particular evening of television is airing at the absolute peak of Happy Days, putting Winkler at a level of cultural saturation that most entertainers never reach. Dangerfield does not appear to register this as relevant.
I'm doing okay today. Show business, I was broke for years, you know. I never had any money. I couldn't buy nothing. I used to eat the grapes. Are you kidding? I had no money at all. No money at all.
He walks out and does what he does. The January 1978 visit is among the most documented in this entire run, and the reason is that both halves of the appearance fire at the same time.
Sometimes I even talk to it. And I say, hi, Heaviness. And Heaviness looks back at me. Today, you're going to get it good, you know. You'll be drinking early today.
The stand-up covers family, appearance, and the rotating cast of people in Dangerfield's life who have all independently arrived at the same conclusion about his standing.
And my mother, too. She never fed me. She told me she liked me as a friend.
And it moves at a pace that barely gives Carson time to recover between lines. But the desk segment is what people who remember this episode tend to return to. Dangerfield settles in next to Carson and the conversation moves. From his neighborhood in New York.
You live in a rough neighborhood.
Oh, very bad. Are you kidding? My neighborhood? Forget about all kinds of people there.
Yeah.
But this last week, a guy rotated my tires from my car to his.
To his perspective on California, to Dr. Vinny Bombat's latest professional activities, to his romantic life, to his thoughts on time and what it does to a person.
Well, one time I took out a real fat girl. Ooh, was she fat? Ooh, boy, girl, fat out there. And she was so fat, I mean, during guys asked directions, you know what I mean?
The chemistry between them by January 1978 is something you can feel through the screen. Two people who have spent years in each other's company and arrived at a genuine mutual regard that comes through in the rhythm of how they talk.
And I don't want to drink because I'm a bad drinker, I'll tell you that, Johnny. When I drink the next day, I got to do two things. I got to try and locate my car, and I got to bring back the car I took. I mean, I'm a bad drinker. Remember that one? Yeah, sure.
Of course I do.
Carson himself is visibly delighted throughout this appearance, not performing delight, but actually experiencing it, and that distinction matters. By 1978, these Tonight Show visits have become events for the regular viewers, something they look forward to the way you look forward to a friend coming to town.
I don't know. Bring on the next guy. I don't know what that is.
Number 3. January 31st, 1979. Exactly 12 months later, episode 4125, and Christopher Reeve and Susan Sarandon are on the same bill. Dangerfield walks out and does what he does. The 1979 material covers the familiar terrain: his mother, his wife, his children.
And my wife, she don't go for me either. Every time I want, she leaves the room to give me privacy.
But the calibration of the delivery has moved considerably from where it was in 1971. These are not the jokes of a man still finding his footing on a national platform.
I tell you, I know I'm ugly. Well, while the guy was mugging me, he took off his mask and made me wear it.
What Dangerfield does across this set is conduct the audience the way a musician conducts an orchestra, knowing precisely when to press forward and when to sit in the space after a punchline and let the laughter settle before the next one lands.
I tell you, the day I was born, I got no respect. And the doctor told my mother I did all I could, but he pulled through anyway.
Las Vegas comes up again, along with reflections on what performing there over the years has taught him about people and about himself. Dr. Vinny Bombat returns with more professionally dubious guidance.
Oh, there's my friend the doctor, Dr. Vinny Bombat.
How is Dr.
He's fine, he's fine. I called him last week, as a matter of fact, I swallowed a bottle of sleep. You know, he told me to have a few drinks and get some rest.
And Dangerfield also moves into slightly broader territory in this appearance, making observations about modern life that reach beyond the personal catalog of indignities and into something more like social commentary, filtered through the lens of a man the world has been conspiring against since birth.
I mean, I want to relax. I can't relax. You kidding? I tried sniffing coke. That didn't work out either. I couldn't get the bottle up my nose. You know?
Carson and the audience are fully with him, as they have been now for the better part of a decade. None of that familiarity has dulled the reaction. 10 years of these visits, and the audience still goes every time.
Let's hear. How
He
ugly?
was so ugly.
How ugly?
You look in a dictionary, under the word ugly, you see her picture.
Number 2. July 23rd, 1980. Episode 4448, and the date attached to this one matters. July 23rd, 1980. 2 days before Caddyshack opens in theaters. Rodney Dangerfield is about to become a movie star.
Well, I checked in a hotel. I asked the bellhop to handle my bag. He started to feel up my wife. I said to him, I said, hey, buddy, who told you could play around my wife? He said, everybody.
A new generation of fans is about to discover him through a film about a nouveau riche ignoramus, as Dangerfield puts it, who shows up at a very prestigious country club and disrupts every social arrangement the members spent their lives constructing.
30 years, very adjusted man, dad, never smokes, drinks, or gambles, you know. Then you read about these guys. One day he pick up an axe and wipe out the whole family, you know?
2 nights before that film opens, Dangerfield is on Carson's stage doing exactly what he has always done. The stand-up in this appearance is some of the most documented footage in the entire Tonight Show run, and the Apple TV synopsis of episode 4448 captures it directly. Rodney Dangerfield has Johnny in stitches with his non-stop one-liners.
I tell you, Johnny, I told you, it's tough to be funny when you're coming off. Tell you that.
The material covers his marriage, his childhood, and what it was like to grow up as what he describes as an ugly kid. And Carson's responses across this stretch are not performer's laughter.
And I was a very ugly kid. Every time my old man wanted my mother showed him my picture.
The man is gone. The desk segment brings a clip from Caddyshack, specifically his character's arrival at the club. And Dangerfield's delight in describing what he made for that film is contagious in a way that's hard to account for outside of pure natural charisma.
She was a wild girl, I'll tell you. Very wild girl.
Wild.
She was. You kidding? Well, she made me French toast. Her tongue got caught in the toaster.
He also reflects on an earlier film called The Projectionist and explains why live stand-up will always feel most like home. Immediate feedback, he says. The crowd tells you in real time whether what you're doing is working.
I wish I was make it with Steve Martin, you know that? Actually, he's my second choice. So quiet, I feel like E.F. Hutton just spoke, you know?
And Dangerfield, who built everything he had on the raw reaction of a live audience, never wanted it any other way. 2 days later, Caddyshack opens, and Rodney Dangerfield reaches a scale of fame that surprises almost everyone except the people who had been watching him do this to Carson for a decade.
I know I'm getting old. I'm at the age now, if I hear someone goes both ways, I figure it's number one and number two, you know?
Number 1, May 30th, 1979. Episode 4200. Jack Lemmon and Robbie Benson share the bill, and yet this is the appearance that sits at the top of the list. Not because of one singular moment, not because of a single joke that outranked everything else he ever delivered, but because of what the whole performance represents when you watch it now.
I drink, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The next day, I end up, I usually wake up in some strange place with a kid with an accent playing with my feet.
Dangerfield opens with his family, which means his wife's nose job, the family tree, and the neighborhood. He moves into social interactions and bad luck, into his childhood and the particular indignity of wearing hand-me-downs through formative years.
Now, I went through a lot of things now as a kid. I wore my father's hand-me-downs. It was rough. I had to unzip my fly to blow my nose.
And each bit connects to the next with a logic that feels inevitable in retrospect but couldn't have been predicted on first hearing. The set has the shape of something much longer, compressed into television minutes without losing a single thread.
My wife, she keeps me broke, too. It cost me $2,000 for her nose job. I'm sorry I p***ed her.
A brief exchange with Carson about his upcoming work schedule follows. Detroit is on the calendar, and his club in New York. And then Dangerfield turns back to the audience and goes further.
I got a big appetite, big appetite. Are you kidding?
Like to eat, huh?
Well, when I eat at McDonald's, I stand outside and watch the sign change. I mean, you're a big appetite.
He gets into material about his weight, about his complicated relationship with food and with the bottle, about what his doctor has been telling him across a series of visits that have apparently not gone well for anyone involved.
Oh, he's a strange doctor,
Yeah.
you know. No matter where it hurts you, he wants to kiss it, make it better. Hey, after he checked me for I had to change my phone number.
He brings it all home with material about his wife and family that circles back to exactly where he started, and the whole set lands as a single unified thing rather than a collection of one-liners.
I got all kinds of problems, Johnny. My daughter got pregnant from eating chicken. Yeah, it was finger-licking good, and one thing led to another, you know.
The desk exchange at the end of this appearance, centered on his recent weight loss, is consistently described as one of the warmest, most genuine conversations Carson and Dangerfield had across their entire run together.
You have lost a little weight, seriously, haven't you?
Yes, I have lost some weight. Usually that happens before you're going to pass away. You know?
Two performers who spent years in each other's company, who built genuine affection through dozens and dozens of these visits, simply enjoying the last few minutes of another evening before Dangerfield heads back out into the world.
The other night I was in a place, I felt like having a few drinks. I went over to the bartender, I said, surprise me. He showed me a naked picture of my wife.
What Dangerfield built across more than 70 appearances on this show cannot be reduced to a clip reel or a highlight package. He brought a character, a man the world declines to take seriously, and made that character a mirror for something real in the experience of millions of people watching at home. Every person who ever felt overlooked, undervalued, or simply passed over found something true in what he was describing. And Johnny Carson, the most composed and controlled host in the history of late-night television, simply could not hold himself together when that man walked through his curtain. Both of them have since passed. Dangerfield in October of 2004, Carson in January of 2005. But what they built together on that stage has outlasted them both. His Grammy-winning 1980 album No Respect gave a title to everything he had been saying all along. His star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, earned in 2002, stands as the formal world finally catching up to what Carson's audience had known since 1969. Dangerfield pioneered an online presence in 1995, becoming the first celebrity to personally own and operate a website, engaging with fans directly at a moment when almost nobody else in entertainment understood that was even possible. His tombstone carries the line his wife chose for it, "There goes the neighborhood." That's the punchline from one of his own jokes, borrowed for the final word, which feels exactly right. The man who got no respect ended up earning all of it, one Carson appearance at a time.